Fans, tonight we'd like to begin by acknowledging that we gather on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples, who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascade watersheds from time immemorial. Please join us in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude for our indigenous neighbors, the Lummi Nation and Nooksack tribe, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. Fans, at this time, we'd like to ask you to rise, if you are able, and remove your hats. It's time now to honor America as the award-winning Western Washington University Band plays our national anthem. Now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's contest. First, the visitors from Western Oregon. Their starting lineup is announced by head coach Wes Pfeiffer, who's assisted by Coach Alex Sandin, Kyle Ruiz, and Drew Rippingham. At guard, a 5'10 junior zero, O'Shane Casimiro. At guard, a 6'4 senior, number 1, Jason Gallant. At guard, a 6'5 freshman, number 2, Mario Williams Jr. At guard, a 6'4 redshirt senior, number 10, Javel Collins. And at forward, a 6'7 junior, number 13, Brady Greer. Viking fan, are you ready? It's time to put your hands together and meet the starting lineup for your Vikings. This lineup, as announced by head coach Tony Dominguez. Coach Dominguez is assisted by A.J. Albritton, Bob Hofstetter, Otavio Jude, and the manager, Ryder Cunningham. At guard, a 6'5 redshirt freshman, number 2, Grant Kepley. At guard, a 5'11 sophomore, number 3, T-John Sane. At forward, a 6'6 junior, number 13, Garrett Levesque. At forward, a 6'6 sophomore, number 20, Louis Grant Halliday. And a 6'4 senior guard, number 44, Will Wilson. 6 man, it's game time.
It is the Saturday night main event, and it's Western Washington men's hoops welcoming in Western Oregon for tonight's GNAC matchup. The visiting Wolves enter at 4-12 and are hoping to keep the ball rolling. Your 10-7 Vikings come in and are hunting their 3rd straight win after the buzzer beater on Thursday to upset number 17 team in the country, St. Martin's. I'm Zen Hill, joined by Butch Kamena here on Vikings TV for another edition of GNAC basketball.
But the game looked a lot different than it would have a week and a half ago. Neither team had a win in the conference, but now the Vikings on a 2-win streak, and Western Oregon coming off a victory at Simon Fraser Thursday. A couple teams with a little bit of momentum tonight.
It is a very balanced GNAC conference as far as parity goes, and the two Westerns from Oregon and Washington head-to-head tonight. First shot, no good, tipped off the back of the rim, fought for a rebound, tipped out of bounds, and it's Western Washington's ball. The Wolves are unsuccessful their first time down the court. And the Vikings will see their offense led by T-John Sane, the man that hit the buzzer beater on Thursday to beat the Saints. Vikings move it. Good ball movement to Will Wilson in the corner for 3.
On a good little roll here, Will Wilson. 19.7 points a game over the last 3 contests. 22 the other night. A lot of them in a key stretch of the second half where the Vikings were struggling to find other scoring.
He led Western Washington on Thursday in their win. Vikings' last 2 victories against Montana State Billings and St. Martin's, and there's a foul on T-John Sane off the drive from Oshen Casimiro. They're going to say it's on the floor before the shot occurred, as you see Will Wilson getting the Vikings offense started on their first trip down the floor. They convert with a 3-pointer. Gallant going to try a 3 of his own, and he matches it right back. A senior Gallant here in his 5th season with the Wolves, knocking down the triple, and we're tied at 3 to start off. Each side throwing a punch from 3. Vikings offense with Will Wilson, other side of the perimeter. T-John Sane a step behind the 3-point line, can't get it to go. Rebound by Brady Greer, and Gallant will handle it up the floor. Wolves took down Simon Fraser on Thursday. Here's Casimiro on another drive, and he traveled, dragged that pivot foot, and he'll turn it over to Western Washington. It was a 78-76 win for the Wolves over Simon Fraser in a very similar style game. 5 seconds were left for Simon Fraser. They had the chance to go the length of the court after a missed free throw, but just didn't get the half court. T-John Sane.
Western Oregon came back from a deficit in the second half in that game as well.
Pass was tipped. T-John Sane into the backcourt. Back up to Will Wilson. 12 on the shot clock. Corner 3 from Grant Halliday. Rattles away, and Greer has another rebound. Someone that shined against Simon Fraser is Javel Collins with the ball. He's only played in now 6 games for the Wolves. As Gallant going to try a 3, and he's got 2 today. That's a deep one right in the face of Will.
Spent a little time earlier in his career at Colorado Christian. For his collegiate career, over 1,000 points, past that mark in the middle of last month.
He's coming off one of his worst games of the season against Simon Fraser. Only had 7 points, shot 1 of 11. He's 2 for 2, and he picks off the steal on the back baseline there. Gives Levesque a stare, and now Collins on the near side. Crossing over, goes up through his defender and finishes. Collins had 34 points against the Red Leafs, and that's his first tonight.
Yeah, in the 5 games he's played, averaging 18 a game. Missed all of last season with an injury. Just returned to the lineup in mid-December.
If he had enough games played, his 18 points per game would be second in the conference as Grant Halliday inside finds the right side of the basket. Second good basket for the Vikings on offense. They trail by 3. Collins initially began his career at Mount Hood Community College as he dribbles it down for the Wolves. They get it to Brady Greer on the right side. Greer looking for his teammate Collins out there on the 3 ball. He tries it and buries it. Western Oregon shooting well from 3.
4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range, and an early 11-5 lead for Western Oregon.
Western Oregon just a team with 4 wins on the season. A key to those victories as Levesque gets inside and drops it in the bucket. A key to Western Oregon's wins so far on the season have been shooting the 3-ball well. In all 4 wins, they've outshot their opponents from 3 by a good margin, and they're starting off well tonight against Western Washington as Gallant can't get the mid-range bump shot. Here's Collins outside, faked a shot into the lane. Acrobatics can't get it. And now the Vikings going quickly with Tijan Sane head of steam into the corner to Kepley. Kepley had it poked out of his hands, and Western will get it on the baseline.
Yeah, the difficulty for the Wolves this year has been at the other end of the floor. They're scoring at a reasonable rate, but giving up over 80 points a game and allowing opponents to shoot close to 49% from the field.
Inbound goes to Grant Holiday, who finishes a layup inside. A couple of baskets near the cup for Grant Holiday in this first half. Vikings trail by 2 in an 11-9 game. 4 minutes gone in the first half. Casemiro to Gallant. Grant Kepley in front of him. Pass was going for Williams. He cut to the basket, and Wilson gets a steal. It's a 2-on-1 break to Grant Holiday. He finishes another layup.
6 quick points for the Vikings here to tie it.
Collins, a deep 3, front iron, rebound by Grant Kepley. He'll also handle it down the floor. Kepley had 16 points on Thursday against St. Martin's. Vikings took down another ranked opponent in this 2024-2025 season. Tijan Sane, he's going to take a 3-pointer, and it just rattles away. Levesque offensive board, and the putback is good on the second try.
Vikings doing a good job of penetrating that zone just by finding angles for good passes, getting the ball to the high post, getting the ball to the baseline, getting very good looks so far.
Gallant going to work against Kepley, trying to muscle through him, and he does. Gives him a little flex, too, at the end of that basket. He's got 8 points in the first half already. Sane resetting the offense now atop the key. Kepley fakes a shot, goes around his defender, back to Sane. High post Grant Holiday, down to Levesque. Levesque guarded by Collins, puts it over him. Rebound by Greer off the miss. Casemiro on the near side of the court finds Collins. Collins cutting around Levesque, and perimeter foul is called on the drive. Levesque picks up his first. It'll send us into our first media timeout here in Carver Gym. Wolves and Vikings tight and even so far in our first half. We'll be right back on Vikings TV.
Hey, get off your... Show off. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Mountain Dew.
Welcome back to WECU Court at Sam Carver Gymnasium. Butch Kamena along with Zen Hill. A lot of action around the GNAC tonight. One that we will track for you is up in Anchorage, where the Western Washington women trail 31-30 at half. The Vikings were down 10 points early, 22-20 at one point. Olivia Wickstrom, 11 points, 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point range. So a good half up there of basketball, and a good half here so far.
Yes, it is, as we are even at 13 apiece. Each side shooting the ball very well. Efficient offenses so far after our first media timeout. Couple substitutions for each side as the Wolves are on offense. Gallant, he's been a leader. He'll take a mid-range jumper and bury it. He cannot miss tonight so far. And the Wolves retake a lead as Gallant now up to 9 points in the game. Vikings around the perimeter. It's Will Wilson there. Will Wilson muscling, gives it off to Tijan Sane. Wilson, pump fake. Now drives around Salinas, one-handed. Oh, hard fall for Garrett Levesque as he was trying to get an offensive rebound. Came over on Jay Cortez. Luckily not too hard of a hit to Levesque. Protected the head on his way down, and nothing else seemed to get hurt except that tailbone.
Yeah, squarely on the tailbone.
Foul ended up going on Cortez, so it'll be the Vikings ball on the baseline as the inbound goes to Wilson. Wilson going to immediately try a three and knock it through.
He looked so relaxed on that three.
He always looks relaxed.
Yes.
Makes it look easy as he puts the Vikings up by 1, 16-15. Greer gets past his defender, but a chase down from White rejects it out of bounds. Trevor White had a couple of those on Thursday, and he gets his first off the bench.
Yeah, was initially beaten, but recovered. Very nice work to get the block shot.
Gallant in the corner for the Wolves. 10 on the shot clock. Pulls up with a hand in his face. Comes up short this time. Wilson with a rebound. Sane going quickly down the floor for the Vikings. Finds his teammate Kepley on a pretty pass. Fake shot. Kepley goes up, and he'll have 2 free throws coming. Almost a chance for a and one for Kepley, but he will go to the charity stripe for the first time tonight. It was a nice find by Tijan Sane to set that up as the foul goes on Brady Greer.
Grant Kepley, as a redshirt freshman, has had just an outstanding season. 15 points a game, in the top 4 in the conference in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals, number of other things. And, of course, he missed the first free throw.
Always. Local Seaholm High School product. Was coached by Brad Jackson, former Viking head coach, and won a national championship here with Western Washington. It's the second of 2, and the Vikings are up by 2.
The nephew of Carmen Dolphin as well.
Family ties.
Sister played volleyball. We could go on.
Yeah, we could keep going. Collins, 3 ball is good.
Oh. You see why he scored at the clip that he is. Multifaceted scorer.
34 points against Simon Frazier. He's got a couple of baskets against the Vikings in this first half early on. Kepley drive out to Wilson. Wilson in the corner. Has his dribble guarded by Collins. Finds Trevor White in the outside. Kepley in the mid-range. Pump fake, then fades away. Rattles it off the right side of the rim. And Salinas will carry it down the court for the Wolves. Leading by 1. Salinas switches sides of the courts. Tries to get it back outside to Collins, stolen by Grant Holiday, and now Sane in transition for a quick layup.
Not going to catch Tijan Sane from behind. A good outlet gets him a layup.
Yeah, we learned that on Thursday when he sprinted the length of the court, 5 seconds, hit that floater for the Vikings to win against St. Martin's. Collins driving, had it stripped away. Up the floor to Wilson on the far side. Wilson inside, contested layup is good. Vikings have come out aggressive, and they are finishing at the cup. Out to a 3-point lead against Western Oregon, but Salinas now spinning away from Sane. Teammate Collins, Grant Holiday fell. Collins goes through 2 defenders, can't get a layup on the double clutch move as Tijan Sane will settle things down for the offense to catch up to him. Kepley faked a 3, now passes it down to Grant Holiday. Had it tipped out of his hands on his way up, stolen by the Wolves.
Yeah, it's a good strip by JaVale Collins on the baseline.
Gallant going inside, and the Vikings rim protection down there again as it goes out of bounds. Western Oregon ball. Garrett Levesque and Aiden Rice set to come in for the Vikings, but not before we get our media timeout here in Carver Gym. It's a 21-18 electric start in this first half. We'll be right back on Vikings TV.
Come on, let's go. Get off here. Touchdown! Mountain Dew.
I would summarize my experience at Western as I was a guarded, nerdy kid who loved to perform, who allowed herself to put in the time and the effort to carve herself into something.
Junk in the trunk, junk in the trunk,
And whatever that was, has led me to where I am right now, to be a fully realized woman. And I'm really thankful for the time and the effort that I put in for myself, because if I didn't do it, no one else was going to.
Vikings on a bit of a burst here and opening up a 21-18 lead and doing it with some transition here. Really Grant Holiday getting it. Tijan Sane ahead of the pack for the layup. Vikings a 7-0 edge in fast break points so far, helping them to that 21-18 lead. Back here with the play-by-play is Zen Hill.
It's been a close matchup so far. Vikings have come out and shot the ball well, 60% as a team. Western Oregon at 46 so far, with 11:08 left in this first half. Wolves will have it on the baseline out there, inbounding, ready to set things in motion is Tony Salinas, a fifth-year player here with Western Oregon, as now the three-pointer from Frinky is taken. Wilson on the rebound fighting there, and he tipped it out of bounds. Salinas was contesting it, and now it'll be the Wolves' ball again on that baseline.
Tony Salinas from Zilla, a 1A power in the state of Washington.
Had an interesting collegiate career so far. Spent 4 years at Western Oregon, transferred, or 3 years, excuse me, and then transferred to Northwest University, and then transferred back to Western Oregon as Frinky hits the three on his second attempt off the bench. Missed the first one on the inbound try, and now he ties it up at 21. Carson Frinky, another Wolf that has been here for a little bit. Wolves only returned 5 players to this season's roster from last year, as Sane pulls up a three, and a deep one is good from Sane.
He's up to 5 points. Vikings 3 of 6 from three-point range. Western Oregon even better at 5 of 8.
Great shooting tonight from each offense. Gallant in that spot. We've seen him so far tonight. Rice tipped it away, saved it, but then Cortez gets it. White might have rejected it back into the hands of Cortez on his way up, and he finishes the basket somehow through the defense. Wilson fakes, gets his defender up, drives in, moves around the screen, and missed it far off the glass, but Cortez was on the baseline and dribbled it out of bounds.
He felt like somebody hit his arm, but to no avail. The Vikings will get an opportunity on the baseline here with Aiden Rice triggering the ball in.
Rice, a true freshman out there with another true freshman in Trevor White. Garrett Levesque, a transfer. Grant Kepley, a redshirt freshman, and Tijan Sane, a sophomore on the floor. Our young Vikings squad here as Rice gets inside. It is Trevor White in the corner. White by Cortez. Cortez stripped it out of his hands and saves the possession that he costed his own team. Gets it right back in this 1-point game. Gallant against Kepley inside, right at the GNAC logo, makes the mid-range jumper.
He's already got 9.
Kepley quickly on the other side of the court. He gets a three. Perfect answer on offense for Western Washington. Kepley now has 4 tonight on his first three-point shot that goes through. Frinky in the corner going to take a three. He was fouled as Levesque slapped his hands, and 3 free throws are going to come for Carson Frinky. Western Oregon, these will be their first free throws of the night, and they will take 3 of them on the trip. Frinky last season was a double-digit scorer with the Wolves, 10.7 points per game. Only played 17 games, but started in 12 of them, as the first free throw is good.
5.7 points a game this year. Not seeing the same level of minutes he did a year ago, playing just 13 minutes a game.
He was a sharp shooter for the Wolves. Made the second most threes on the team as Grant Holiday is in. Garrett Levesque is out for Western Washington.
He came in attempting 54 threes and just 19 twos. And actually shooting better from 3 than from 2.
Makes all of his 3 free throws, so it's a 28-27 lead for Western Oregon in this back and forth first half. Vikings around the perimeter. Trevor White to Rice in the corner. He'll take a 3, and he gets it. Vikings are on fire from downtown in the first half. Each side now with 5 made threes as that is going to be a long 2 this time made from Frinke. (30-30) as Rice is outside, saying the small guards around the perimeter. Casimiro almost jumped that pass. They waited a second, and now Rice gives it to Sane. Sane with 15. Right side, Sane. Floater off the glass. Can't get it. Trevor White with the putback.
Very nice tip.
White is able to clean up the glass. Vikings with some second chance points tonight.
Yeah, when Sane drove, it drew the defenders and allowed Trevor White to slice the basket to get that tip in unimpeded.
Mims gets by White, but he rejects it. And out of bounds, Trevor White, rim protecting defense so far tonight has been great for the Vikings. He's got 3 blocks, and we've got a media timeout. Score 32-30. Western Washington leads Western Oregon here in Bellingham, Washington.
The Teaching and Learning Academy is an organization that's housed in the library, and it's where people come to have conversations.
They deal with serious issues that have emotional impact in ways that are typically not found in a class.
We've talked about diversity and inclusivity on our campus and in our community.
It not only enriches my education, but also impacts the ways that I can continue my leadership roles.
Welcome back into Carver Gym here in Bellingham, Washington. Western Washington and Western Oregon, a 32-30 score. Vikings favored in it right now with 7:59 left in our first half. It has been a close first half and a fun first half. Aggressive defense, as you saw. Trevor White in his 4th block send us into that break. We will come out with Western Oregon ball on the baseline.
Yeah, he has been the rim protector tonight. 4 blocks in just 6 minutes of play.
It's been almost the whole weekend, even against St. Martin's. He had 4 as well. He's likely going to topple that tonight. Was a career high against St. Martin's as that is tipped out of bounds off the hands of a Wolf, and it'll be the Vikings' ball. His initial jump through the lane that tipped the pass at the start, and then off of Gallant, it will go out of bounds, and Vikings now take possession off the turnover. Pass inside to Tate, and he gets the layup. Almost looked like he was getting held, but was able to have the wide open spot, and the Vikings found him inside for a layup. It's a 4-point lead for Western Washington.
Largest of the night for the Vikings.
It's been a close first half as Gallant step back 3 comes up short. Kepley diving at the media table almost into your lap.
I was going to catch it and shoot it, man.
The ball?
Yeah, I'm worried about the ball, not the guy crashing into me.
Okay. Maybe we need to get the priorities straight here. I think the health is better than your airball 3-pointer. That might have happened from here.
Oh, wow.
It's deep.
It is deep.
We're sitting
You're
a little
right,
far.
I am sitting down. That's a.
They used to do that shot from your seat challenge here at WECU Court. What about that distance?
There are no limits to my range.
Frinke misses the layup short as Will Wilson gets the glass. Had a nice lane to the basket, but just couldn't finish it. A bit too late on his attempt to go up. Grant Holiday spins around and finishes inside. Grant Holiday showing some moves down in the paint. He's got 8 points.
The Vikings on a 6-0 run here. And they've hit 5 of their last 6 shots from the field.
They're up by 6. 6:40 left in the first half. Leading scorer for the Wolves, Gallant. Outside, Makayo Mims goes around the screen of Gallant now. 7 on the shot clock. Mims steps back. His 3 is good.
I honestly thought Kepley had a piece of that. Wrong. Great hit by Mims.
Their whole offense tonight have been putting up tough shots, hand in their face. It hasn't mattered, though, for the Wolves. Kepley will try a 3 and answer right back.
You're going to hit one in my face. I'm going to hit one in yours.
Trading on each side as the 3s have been raining down in this first half. 6 made for each team. And on good efficiency as well. Brady Guerrier, guarded by Jordan Tate, drive and kick outside to Collins. Collins with 8. Collins at 5 through the hands of Grant Holiday, and a foul is called on Louis. 2 shots coming for JaVale Collins.
Get the nice little spin move on the baseline by Grant Holiday.
So now JaVale Collins at the free throw line.
He averaged around 9 points a game 2 seasons ago. Missed all of last season with injury, as we said, just returned to the lineup. Played 1 game against Linfield before Christmas and then has really picked it up, over 20 points a game in the 4 conference games he's played. He has been a force, and they have played better with him back. They very nearly beat St. Martin's last weekend and then got the victory against Simon Fraser on Thursday.
So far playing the Vikings well. As Western Washington leads by 4, Tijan Sain hands it off. Grant Holiday on his way up, had it poked out of his hands, got it right back to himself, and reset with Will Wilson. Grant Holiday on the baseline, double teamed. Wilson, fake shot, goes inside. Floater from Wilson is good.
Oh, it's just so cold. 10 points for Will Wilson. 4 of 6 from the field.
Able to get where he wants, when he wants, and finish how he wants, as Gallant wanted a foul, couldn't get it on his layup. Vikings going down the floor. Rice gives it to Kepley, and Kepley knocked off his defender, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Kepley.
That's the right call. That is a great play by Collins, because he looked like he was fooled and somehow got back in front. And he did. Let's be frank, he did get in front. The question would have been whether he had actually established or not, but it was not an easy call, but that's a heck of a play if he got there.
Western Oregon needed it as they trail by 6 right now, under 5 minutes, trying to close the gap heading into the half. Frankie finds the open. Greer, that a man open. Kepley says no way. What a rejection by the guard. Fake pass. Tate 3-pointer is good.
Wow. What a play by Grant Kepley.
What a sequence for Western Washington. They're up by 9. Protecting the basket at all costs for Western Washington, and it's paid off as Collins goes inside, somehow gets that off the glass and finishes it. Oh, what a take by Collins. Pretty spectacular offense by each side tonight. Kepley gonna try a 3. Can't get it front of the rim. Tate had his hand grabbed as he was going for the rebound, and a foul called on Western Oregon's Collins. And Western Washington gonna keep possession off the first personal foul to JaVale Collins. Mario Williams back onto the floor for Western Oregon. Vikings have it on the baseline with a fresh 20 seconds. And at the top of the key will be Wilson. Back to Wilson from Kepley. He goes to his right. Inside layup, no good. Tipped around. Call is going to be Western Washington ball, and they will just keep extending this possession on their side of the floor. But it'll take us to a media timeout before we do that. 44-37 your score. 3:54 left in this first half. Each side firing on offense. We'll be right back on Vikings TV.
Hey, get off your... Show off. Mountain Dew.
It's important that what I do as a job is something that I find meaningful. I ended up applying to the cybersecurity program at Western. The aspects of the program that really stand out to me is the hands-on experience.
Being able to work interdisciplinary and bring cybersecurity to marine science, bring it to communications, bring it to everything, is what really makes it interesting.
Vikings doing some amazing work of rim protection. Grant Kepley with the block there. And then at the other end, Jordan Tate with a 3. 6 blocks for Western, 4 of them by Trevor White. I believe, and I will look it up I believe the record in a single game is 9. I know that it's held by Ed Briggs. It's from about 1990, and I was here.
Well, mathematically, you might be here if he breaks it. He needs one more in the half to, I guess, statistically say that he might end up in double digits. It's going to be a long shot. Back on offense is Western Washington with Will Wilson out of the break. Vikings are living down on this side of the court. They've burned the last minute down here. As Aiden Rice inside tried to get a backdoor pass, it was bounced around onto the floor. Mario Williams has Jordan Tate on top of him. Still no clean tie-up. And timeout called, I believe, and something interesting happening a bit after the whistle, something extra between Cortez and Jordan Tate, as teams will be sent to their bench for the officials to organize this. Whistle had been blown.
Yeah. Aiden Rice tried to throw a little backdoor. It bounced off a leg. Cortez went to the floor to get it. Jordan Tate never actually dove on him. He kept just trying to reach around him, which meant that whole sequence was kind of extended. I don't think there was anything untoward either way there unless something happened after the play.
So it'll be a 30-second timeout here taken by Western Oregon to keep possession. And a 44-37 score, 3:34 in the first half. As take a look at the replay on what happened after that play. See Tate around Williams. It wasn't even Cortez that was involved, and then just a little bit extra. Tate was still holding on after the whistle.
Maybe.
Casemiro will handle it down the floor for Western Oregon. Aiden Rice picking it up at midcourt, as Williams will be on the far side. Wilson in front of him. Back to Casemiro, top of the key. Casemiro backdoor cut to Williams on a beautiful find. Williams, the true freshman, gets the layup. And he is into the scoring column for the first time tonight on his first shot. Comes on the layup attempt. Rice dribble, pull up three-pointer. Oh my, the 8th made three by Western Washington in this first half. It's raining.
He hadn't taken a shot all night. It's like, I'm gonna take this one.
Off the dribble, 2 to do it. Vikings up by 8. Cortez turns it over. Grant Holiday there. Rice had the Wolf behind him, settled through it. Extra pass, fake shot from Kepley into the lane. Layup's no good, and Grant Holiday couldn't find it. It's bobbling around. Kepley throws it to Rice, and a foul is called as Grant Kepley was headed to the ground. Collins seemed to push him.
Grant Kepley looking like a scrum half coming out in rugby. The ball comes out of the pack and a little dive to kick it out to the fly half. We never thought we'd be saying that this year, but that is what it looked like.
It is what it did. Yes. The only reason he was headed down there is because of Collins' foul. Jordan Tate's three right off the inbound pass is no good. Collins going quickly, rises up through Kepley and finishes on the other side of the basket.
Elevated on that. That was impressive.
Sane, a three-pointer on the wing, too short. Cortez a rebound. 6-point game and a 6-point lead for Western Washington. Collins going to the rack again through Kepley. No whistle, and Vikings get it. Rice quickly up the floor. He settles. Three-pointer. Back iron. Sane down there, the short guard, able to pick up the offensive rebound, and now Western Washington will slow things down after sprinting down the court with the Wolves. Sane at the top. Grant Holiday back to Tijon Sane. Sane drive. 2 on the shot clock. Got to put something up. Steps with that floater and can't get it. Tipped out of bounds by Western Oregon, and the Vikings keep possession. Minute 33 left in the first half.
So the Vikings just one of their last 8 from the field after all the great shooting. Still shooting 56%, but have cooled off from where they were.
Inbound goes to Tate, back to the inbounder, Rice. Now Kepley driving, kick out to Sane. Rice guarded by Williams. Cross-court pass to Kepley. Shot fake, Kepley, wraparound pass. Rice in the corner, 3-ball is good.
Battles it home. Tony Dominguez wanted a timeout after the basket, didn't get it.
He was upset a little bit about it as an offensive foul will be called on Western Oregon, and it turns things over to Western Washington. Frankie going to come back in for the Wolves.
Get a look at it. Dip the shoulder a little bit. Nice defense by the freshman Aiden Rice.
Kepley had one called against him. This time is the one that wears the foul and gives the Vikings it.
Excuse me, Kepley. Give credit where credit wasn't due there. I apologize.
All right. High post, Grant Holiday takes a power dribble and gets inside. Vikings' largest lead of the night. They're up to 11. Closing out the half in the strongest way. Vikings have bounced back from that 1 for 8 you just mentioned quickly.
Overall, just a masterful offensive half for the Vikings, and a pretty good one for the Western Oregon Wolves as well.
Frankie took some contact from Tate. This is tipped out of bounds, and it's Wolves' ball. 9 on the shot clock right now.
Well, we have a quick second before we go to the half. Western Washington women trailing 52-50 late in the third quarter at Anchorage.
Got a close game up north. A good first half here in Bellingham. Cortez with the rock outside. 5 on the shot clock for the Wolves. Casimiro inside. Casimiro with the layup is good. 9-point lead for Western Washington.
Carson Frankie has heard of this, and the Vikings have a 5-on-4.
And the Wolves with a foul.
Western Oregon give a foul, so they're not outnumbered.
It was a foul that they could afford to give. No bonus yet, as Frankie had to hobble his way down the other side of the court. 10.2 is on the game clock. Vikings will have Kepley on the inbounds. Western leads by 9. 52 points in this first half. Corner Rice. Tate fell down. Drive and kick outside. Kepley's 3 ball. No good, and that's how the first half is going to end. 52-43 your score.
Zen is going to try to get a word with A.J. Albrecht. Give you a quick look while he is doing that. Some of the scoring here. The Vikings, who shot almost 57% from the field, led by 10 points each for Wilson and Grant Holiday. For Western Oregon, it was Collins who had 14. Gallant had 9, and it looks like we are just about ready. Zen with assistant coach A.J. Albrecht.
Down here on the floor with assistant coach A.J. Albrecht. 52-point first half. I mean, the offense has got to be feeling good. What did you see that you liked in that half?
Yeah, we're moving the basketball. We're hitting shots in the zone. If you can hit shots, that's good. And we're moving it. They're good looks. We're moving it and getting to the baseline, hitting the corner. So we're moving the ball, getting good looks, and that's why 52 points is what it is.
Great rim protection. Trevor White, obviously. Grant Kepley had that electric play. Will Wilson has a block. Talk about what that has played a role in.
Yeah, rim blocking is good because we're having trouble guarding guards. So if they're getting beat off the dribble, at least somebody's there to meet them at the rim. We have to do a lot better. We did a lot better job that second half of the first half guarding the ball, but we got to do a lot better job in the second half in order to maintain this lead.
All right, best of luck, AJ. Thank you. Vikings second half coming up next year against the Western Oregon Wolves. You can catch it on Vikings TV. Welcome back into Carver Gym here in Bellingham, Washington. Second half about to get started between the Western Oregon Wolves and the Western Washington Vikings. A 52-43 score after 20 minutes. And what a 20 minutes it was. It was a fun one. Let's take a look at some of those stats from that electric first half. Both offenses on fire tonight, Butch.
The Vikings shooting almost 57% despite having a 1 of 8 patch late in the first half. Western Oregon just under 50%. That Western Oregon getting to the line, making all 5 of their free throws. Both teams red hot from three-point range, as you see. Slight edge for the Vikings and rebounds. The big thing for Western, I think, those assists. 16 assists on 21 field goals. The ball was really moving. Western Oregon in the zone most of the half, so that's an outstanding performance. The scoring, we mentioned this during the end of the half. Louis Grant Holiday and Will Wilson each with 10 points for the Vikings, 9 for Aiden Rice on a trio of three-pointers. 7 for Kepley, 5 each for Tate and Sane, and then also 2 points for Trevor White, 4 for Garrett Levesque. At the other end of the floor, Javel Collins with 14, 9 for Gallant, most of those early. Frankie came off the bench and got 8, turned an ankle or something at the end of the half. We'll see if he returns. 5 for Ocean Casimiro, 3 for Mims, 2 for Cortez and Williams for the total of 43. An exciting first half, a fun first half, and lots of up and down action, lots of shots made, lots of block shots. With the Vikings getting 7 of them, excuse me.
These are two teams that, on average, usually make about 7 3-pointers per game, and the Vikings in that first half made 9. Western Oregon made 6, so we'll see if the shootout continues in this second half. Western Washington will have their 9-point lead, a 1-point held an 11-point lead right before the final basket from Western Oregon to close our first half. Vikings will have possession out of the half. They'll start with Grant Holiday, Sane, Kepley, Wilson, and Levesque, the starters tonight, and starting the second half as well for Tony Dominguez and Western Washington. Here on this Saturday night in Carver Gym, Vikings offense feeling good. Final 20 minutes here on Vikings TV. Vikings around the perimeter. Grant Kepley in that corner. He's worked well there tonight. Wilson going to try a 3 straight out of the half. He gets it.
He's up to 13 now. 5 of 8 from the field. 3 of 3 from three-point range.
And the 10th made 3 for Western Washington. Vikings, just like that, their largest lead of the night. 12 points against Western Oregon, who now have a chance to answer. Williams Jr. out there with Brady Greer. With the ball is Casimiro. Off the ball, Collins, as well as out there. Inside is Gallant, and he finishes.
Started the first half well at 7 very quick points. Now up to 11 in the games. Western Oregon still in the zone, extending it maybe a little more than they did earlier, though.
High post, passed down to Wilson on the drive. Had to change his angle and couldn't get it. Offensive rebound, though, by Levesque. Keeps the possession alive. Pass to Sane, right side. Floater from Sane off the window. Sane now has 7 points tonight on his 3rd make. Gallant now Greer. Collins on the left side alone, guarded by Levesque. Greer atop the key. Collins baseline drive. Inside reverse layup is good. He's made a couple of impressive layups tonight. Feels like he's double clutching on every single layup attempt too, and it's working though. He's got a couple to go in tonight. And he's the leading scorer for Western Oregon. 16 points for him after scoring 34 against the Red Leafs. Levesque a corner 3. He can't get it. Kepley almost blew the roof off of this place. I didn't know he had that even in them. Trying to get a putback dunk. Layup the other way is no good from Western Oregon. And Sane will hurry it down, but then slow it into the offensive set. One-on-one against Greer, and Collins help defense, pokes it away. Sane now on the floor with Collins. Now Grant Holiday there, and we finally have a wrap-up that will get it to Western Oregon. And no, there's a timeout called before the tie-up, so it'll be Tony Dominguez calling his first timeout of the second half after the steal was almost grabbed by Collins. He was trying to keep the ball away from Sane, and then Vikings got it. First timeout will be charged into a full timeout, so we'll take a quick break. 10 points is the difference. 57-47 is your score. 17:39 left in this second half. We'll be right back.
been graced with this exceptional puzzle that is the planet.
This summer, the Kilauea volcano started erupting.
What we were interested in was expanding our knowledge of the volcano into this domain that's hard to see.
It was the closest I think I'll ever be to seeing such a broad physical process happen in front of my eyes.
This is what we do at Western. We give undergraduates these hands-on research experiences.
This trip has opened my eyes to how incredible research can be. It changed my life.
Back at Carver Gym, Western Oregon, Western Washington here. Still early in our second half after the Tony Dominguez timeout. Vikings will have the ball after a near turnover from Tijan Sane that sent us into the break. Western Washington just 6 turnovers on the night, each side being very clean on offense so far, and that is what made so far that first half so entertaining. Not a lot of dirty possessions, a lot of clean shots and good shots from each side. So 17:39 left. Western Washington ball on a 10-point lead.
It has been entertaining, and the Vikings just 6 turnovers, and I think they had maybe 3 of those early in the game, so they've cleaned it up brilliantly. Western Oregon with only 8 turnovers, not bad either. Western Oregon, if you go back to pre-COVID, was really one of the powers of the GNAC, a national championship game appearance in 2016, a regional final in 2018, but since COVID, no winning seasons, and then last year a whole lot of injuries and other things. Slipped to 5-21 and struggled again this year, but last couple weeks, a little better performance. Getting JaVale Collins back has helped. We are getting a review here, I think, on the on that tie-up to be sure there wasn't anything flagrant. They are discussing, the 3 referees are officials are at the center circle right now discussing all of that.
Still plenty of time for either Western Washington or even Western Oregon to try and change their turn for the GNAC. We're not even at the halfway point in conference games, and although we have some top-heavy teams, those mid-league teams can kind of shift around for the next couple of games. You see either of these teams go on a winning streak, and all of a sudden their chances at making the postseason tournament are a whole lot better.
6 out of 10 get in. Nobody's out of it yet. Nobody's out of range. If you're hitting the turn next week with only 1 or 2 wins, you could be in some trouble, but not dead yet.
Wilson's 3 out of the break, no good. Too strong on it. Casemiro has the rebound, and now Collins the other way. And 1 layup. And he's got a chance at 1 more. Grant Holiday picks up the personal foul, wrapping his arm around.
That's a foul.
It was just a late whistle resulted in the end 1.
It didn't look like the gather had started yet. Usually that would be what would give him the continuation for the bucket. Check how far off to the side he is on this free throw.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Unique shooting form from the charity stripe, and it worked. He completed the 3-point play.
77% from the line in the
handful
of games he's played. It works. He knows what he's doing.
It's interesting. You don't see that a whole
lot. That guy
lot.
scores. I'm not going to argue with him.
Sane's 3-pointer, no good. Levesque, another offensive rebound. Grant Holiday, his 3, short. Casemiro with the rebound. Casemiro outlet pass up, but stolen by Levesque. Oh, he's tripped up by Collins, and a foul is called. Levesque has taken some hard hits to the ground tonight, as Collins is going to pick up a wrong place, wrong time foul. Wasn't trying to foul him, but he now has his 3rd.
Momentum just carried him in to Levesque.
7-point lead for Western Washington. Collins with 3 personal fouls has 19 points. Not someone that the Wolves would want to have foul out in this game, but with 17 minutes and 3 fouls, he's still out there on the floor. Sane around a screen of Grant Holiday. Wilson gets it to Grant Holiday, guarded by Gallant. Muscles his way through. Offensive rebound. Levesque, and a putback again from Garrett Levesque. He's got 4 rebounds tonight, and I think maybe all 4 of them might be offensive ones.
He does all of the little things, doesn't he? He is so active around the basket.
Vikings right now out rebounding the Wolves by 4, 22-18. Their 4 rebound advantage comes on the offensive glass, 12-8. And a kickball called. It'll be still with Western Oregon. Grant Holiday was unable to finish another tough basket inside, but Garrett Levesque there to clean it up. His 6th point tonight, 3 of 5 shooting for Levesque, the transfer for the Vikings from UTEP. D1 bounce back here with the Vikings. First season in Bellingham for Levesque. His career spins around. Wilson fell down, and layup is good. Vikings wanted the offensive foul. Kepley around that zone screen. Wilson into the paint and finishes his own double take.
Nice take.
Wilson leads the way for the Vikings tonight with 15. Pass inside, Williams Jr. and Kepley is called for a foul. Free throws coming for the Wolves off of Grant Kepley, but not before our media timeout. Under 16 minutes, 61-52 the score. Vikings lead the Wolves. You're watching Vikings TV.
Hey, get off your... Show off. Mountain Dew.
It's important that what I do as a job is something that I find meaningful. I ended up applying to the cybersecurity program at Western. The aspects of the program that really stand out to me is the hands-on experience.
Being able to work interdisciplinary and bring cybersecurity to marine science, bring it to communications, bring it to everything, is what really makes it interesting.
Welcome back. We want to give you a final score from Anchorage. It was in the women's side, UAA 67, Western Washington 59, despite a 24.6 rebound performance from Olivia Wickstrom. Demi Dykstra, 9 points, 8 assists, 11 points each for Allison Deaver and Maddie Grambois. Vikings had a good little winning streak there, but no disgrace to lose to the Sea Wolves, who were...
And you're down Mason Oberg also. So.
And right on the edge of leading the conference, and right on the edge of receiving votes for the national polls on the women's side. So come home and get to play Simon Fraser up in Burnaby on Friday. So Mario Williams the line, shooting a pair, the freshman. He had 20 points up in Burnaby the other night.
Yes,
played
he
very
did.
well there. Average about 8.5 a game on the year.
Is 1 point shy of his career high. He had 21 points earlier in the season, has kind of scored in the middle ranges throughout his other games, but had an outburst against the Red Leafs, has been quiet tonight against the Vikings. Western Washington around the perimeter, 61-53 lead, 15 minutes approaching left in our second half. Wilson on the drive, had it tipped away, stolen by Williams Jr. Mario Williams in transition, takes it himself, coast to coast. Levesque is there. I don't think he got it, and the layup is no good. Vikings have a 5-on-4 for the time being. Williams now back on defense and guarding on ball on Grant Kepley. He steals it away from Kepley as the two go to the floor. And the foul is called on Grant Kepley.
Oh, he stripped Will Wilson on the previous possession, and then Mario Williams does it again. This time he gets Grant Kepley.
Had just 9 steals entering this matchup, showing the quick hands to get the possession to his Wolves. Garrett Levesque coming off as Trevor White is back in. He has 2 points, but 4 blocks. Those have been the loud plays from White off the bench so far for Western Washington.
We did confirm the single game record is 9. If we get a chance, we can talk a little more about that.
Back to the basket in Gallant. He's been going to work there all day. Goes through Aiden Rice, misses. And now Rice up the floor for Western Washington. True freshman's got 9 points on his 3 threes that he has made for the Vikings tonight. Off the bench, Rice gives it to Wilson in the corner. Grant Holiday double teamed. Wilson around Williams. Finds Sane opposite side of the court. 10 the shot clock in the high post. Sane, a 3-pointer. Too short. Offensive rebound, White. Back to Sane inside off the cut, and Sane gets it and one.
The 6'7" Trevor White gets a rebound 9 feet from the basket and feeds the 5'11" Tijan Sane on the cut for a lay-in. It's not how you would anticipate it, but it worked quite well.
Worked perfectly. Sane knew exactly where to go for White. Had the open spot in the defense. Gets the foul on Casimiro, his first. And Sane at the free throw line. Can't get the 3-point play. A rare miss at the free throw line for Sane.
It's only the Vikings' third free throw attempt of the night.
They're a team that takes a whole lot of free throws usually. It's what we're used to seeing by a team that loves to attack the basket as much as this Tony Dominguez-led Vikings squad. Cortez against the much shorter Sane. 10-point lead for the Vikings, 8 on the shot clock. Casimiro inside pass. Kepley gets a nice layup with the left hand. Down to single digits in an 8-point game between Western Oregon and Western Washington. Little coastal battle between these two Division II GNAC schools. Kepley, his three. Yes! Vikings continue to knock down the three ball.
11 of 24, only 2 of 7 of this half, but Kepley now into double figures with 10 points.
7 assists as well for the redshirt freshman guard Kepley. Casimiro, a dribble handoff to Gallant. 11 points for Gallant. Casimiro with the ball. He's got 7 inside. Casimiro, another finish for Western Oregon.
Ocean, O''S''E''N.
And an awesome last name.
Yes.
Trevor White, mid-range jumper is good. (68-57), 11-point lead for Western Washington. The Wolves with Gallant, Rice guarding him near the baseline. Gallant with the muscle gets through.
No harm, no foul, apparently.
It's a tough play and a tough basket taken by the strength of Gallant.
Physical, 6'4", 205.
Stolen away, Western Oregon. Casimiro goes up, gets the layup. And now just a 7-point lead for Western Washington. Casimiro now quickly into double figures.
You could quibble about individual calls tonight, but this game has had flow. We want to be fair about that.
Yeah.
Even if we might quibble about one call here and there, the game has continued to move.
Rice's three-pointer is no good, and we have an off-the-ball foul called on Trevor White. That will send in Garrett Levesque and Jordan Tate. Grant Holiday will come off, as well as Tijon Sane. And yeah, you could say that the officials tonight kind of letting them play a little bit. It feels like they're letting some contact go, and it's kind of what has made this game so fast, so fun to watch.
Players have been successful in playing through it, and it's not one of these things where people are getting bludgeoned.
Dangerous.
They can't get to the rack because of the contact. They're fighting off the contact and able to finish.
It's been great basketball as Casimiro goes through an and one finish through Aiden Rice this time, and Casimiro having himself a second half. He'll go to the line as Western Oregon now threatening the Vikings' lead with a couple of points stringing together. Before we get the and one attempt, it'll be a media timeout. So right now the score is 68-63, 11:50 left in the second half. You're watching Vikings TV. This is GNAC basketball.
Come on, let's go. Get off your... Touchdown!
Mountain Dew.
Campus to Campus is a beautiful reciprocal relationship that's really centered on how to support young students to see themselves in a different kind of way and see the possibilities for their future.
Allie was one of our first mentors. A lot of people have believed in me along the way, Allie being one of them. She's always inspired me. Now I'm at Western, actually going to college.
It's changing lives for the young students that we work with, and it's changing lives for the mentors who work with them.
Welcome back to WECU Court at Sam Carver Gymnasium. The Vikings with a 68-63 lead in spite of the recent heroics of Ocean Casimiro. 6 of 6 from the floor. He's already reached his season high here, I believe. He is now at 13 points, which does match his season high, from Kohala, Hawaii. And I don't even know where Kohala is, so.
Not even an island?
Oh, it's on the island somewhere, yes.
Just
I think we can establish that. It's not on the mainland.
5 points is the difference out of this break. Casimiro has a chance to chip away at one of those, and he will. Completes the three-point play out of the break. So the transfer from Southwest Oregon Community College in Ocean, Casimiro, has put on a show in the second half and has brought this game within 4 points between the two Westerns of the GNAC, Washington and Oregon.
You know what I'm doing.
Trevor White in the high post. Kepley a three. Too short on it. White offensive rebound. He's been there a couple times tonight. White gets to his spot, has it tipped out of his hands on his way up. Reed gets it, now inside, and they're going to say he traveled.
Yeah, the pump fake lifted him off the ground a little bit. Doesn't take away from the fact that he has been a force around the rim tonight.
Only 9 minutes off the bench right now for Tony Dominguez, but 4 rebounds, 4 points, 4 blocks.
Kohala in the northwest corner of the Big Island.
There you go.
Thus concludes your geography lesson for the evening.
And they're just letting him go to work. Casimiro again inside, and he's done it back-to-back possessions down the floor. Another chance for an and one play. Casimiro, 16, and he hasn't missed a shot tonight.
We're now posting up the 5'10 guy. What is going on?
Exactly.
And he is on fire.
I mean, they were all just standing still, and they just watched him have his own possession and a little one-on-one street ball.
And he has pulled the Wolves to within 2 points here. Can cut it to 1. This is kind of where the Vikings had a lull the other night against St. Martin's. They had a lead. It got away. It was tight. It got away from them. And then they played pretty well down about the last 7 or 8 minutes. And it's kind of happened again here where up double digits, feeling pretty good. And suddenly this lead is down to 1.
Vikings had the help of a 15-3 run towards those last 3 minutes where the Vikings were finally able to get back in front of St. Martin's. Right now they hold the lead, trying to avoid the momentum of Western Oregon overtaking them. Need a basket here and instead a turnover. And who else? Stolen away by Casimiro. Bounce pass up to his teammate. Williams Jr. is fouled. And shots coming for the freshman Mario Williams Jr. And these could take the lead for Western Oregon. Foul was on Will Wilson in transition off the layup attempt.
This is a 10-0 run, a little over 2 minutes. And Tony Dominguez wants a timeout.
It'll be a full timeout. So before we get to free throws, 68-67. We'll be right back on Vikings TV, 10:42 in this close second half.
Hey, get off your...
Show off. Mountain Dew.
It's important that what I do as a job is something that I find meaningful. I ended up applying to the cybersecurity program at Western. The aspects of the program that really stand out to me is the hands-on experience.
Being able to work interdisciplinary and bring cybersecurity to marine science, bring it to communications, bring it to everything, is what really makes it interesting.
Back here in Carver Gym, here in Bellingham, Washington, the place to be tonight for this Western Oregon-Western Washington matchup. Wolves and Vikings have had a close battle, 68-67 your score right now. Western Oregon is on fire, and because Casimiro has taken over this team's offense, he got the steal right before the break, hit his teammate Mario Williams, who was fouled, and now he's at the free throw line after Will Wilson picked up his first personal foul. Vikings off the miss right there from Williams, so now the best he can do is tie this game at 68. Wolves have not led since 28-27 with 9 minutes left in the first half. And he missed both of them. 0 for 2 from the free throw line, and the Vikings get a nice break. Jordan Tate, Will Wilson as the Vikings swing it around opposite sides. Trying to find a hole in this Wolf defense. Dribble pull up for Wilson, fading forward. Cortez with those long arms gathers a rebound. Now a chance for the Wolves to get that lead that they missed out on at the free throw line their last time down. Pick and roll now to Cortez, and the attempt is no good, but another foul. That's now 4 straight possessions where there has been a foul called on Western Washington, and free throws resulting for Western Oregon.
Somebody was talking a minute ago about how they were letting them play, and,
Yep.
and now all of a sudden we're seeing a lot of whistles. Not saying any of those were poor calls.
So Cortez will go to the free throw line. Let's see if he can take the lead or tie this thing up. And he misses the first one. Trevor White back in for Jordan Tate. True freshman takes out Tate, the sophomore. His free throw could tie it.
You've said that for a while now.
I have. I've been trying to get to it. And they finally do. 68 knotted here, 10 minutes in the second half. Western Oregon has fought its way back after being down by 12 points at the most during the start of this second half. Wolves are right back in it. We're tied 68-68. Wilson is on the side. He'll get an and one try.
We talked a little bit ago how this kind of had the rhythm of Thursday night's game where the Vikings went into a lull in the middle of the second half. The guy that brought them out of that lull the other night was Will Wilson. And here, an opportunity for an and one to put Western back up by 3. He may be doing the same thing once again.
They're able to make that. Wilson's now got 18 points. His first free throw attempt tonight is true, and the Vikings up by 3. Galan is guarded by one of the Vikings' best defenders in Garrett Levesque out there at the perimeter. He calls for a screen from Cortez. Doesn't get checked on it. Still just one-on-one. Now down to Collins. Wilson there. Collins puts it up. Can't get it. Rebound by White. And Vikings will settle with Sane, who now picks up the pace down the floor. Directing traffic, Sane slows it for the Vikings. Wolves still in that zone. They get it to Wilson. Baseline. Reverse is good from Wilson.
Just that little extra to finish that. He was in a bit of traffic, threw it a little higher off the board. And 5 quick ones from Will Wilson. The man is doing it again.
Vikings leading scorer on the year and showing it again tonight, this week. In fact, 20 points, 22 points against St. Martin's, and now 20 points tonight. Casimiro, he's had the team on his back in the second half. He'll drive, wanted to draw a foul, couldn't get it. Grant Holliday gets the layup off the miss.
That's Casimiro's first miss of the night of any kind.
They go to the high post, kick out. Levesque, 3-ball. No good, too strong. Grant Holliday is fouled on his way up, trying a second chance. Offensive rebounds tonight have come in numbers for Western Washington, and they have paid off. Another chance here to get some boards, leading to points with 2 free throws coming for Grant Holliday.
15 offensive rebounds to just 12 defensive rebounds for Western Oregon. So that has been a problem for the Wolves this year. They're getting out-rebounded by about 7.2 rebounds a night. And the Vikings taking advantage of that here. A 30-20 advantage in rebounds right now.
The Wolves' negative rebounding margin is the worst in the conference. Western Washington usually is about even with their opponents on the glass. Tonight they have the edge and a 6-point lead right now against Western Oregon. Grant Holliday made the first free throw, so it's up to 6 with 8:26 in the second half left. Second one is true. Vikings lead by 7.
A 7-0 run after Western Oregon had come back to tie the game. A nice little bit of resilience shown here by the Vikings.
Wolves trying to get back to what they had around the midway point through this second half. Cortez a dunk inside. Gallant found him, and Cortez able to get his second basket of the night. He's got 5 points. $75-70, oftentimes a final score you would see, but we still have 7 minutes to play. As Sane was trying to find Levesque, who was off balance and missed the pass chance, a turnover by the Vikings. And under 8 minutes, it's immediate timeout. 7:41 left in this second half. 75-70. Your Vikings in front of the Wolves. When we come back, it's Vikings TV. back in Carver Gym here in Bellingham, Washington. It's the Vikings and the Wolves in this Saturday night GNAC matchup, and it's been a fun one. Just 5 points the difference right now between these two Westerns. And in this second half, Vikings shooting 42% as a team. Western Oregon has had their offense spark more than it was even in that first half. Had a good offensive first half. Vikings were just so remarkable that they were still in this game but not leading. And now Western Oregon shooting 68% in the second half. Have been able to bring this game into a close one. They tied it at 68. Vikings were able to answer, and now a 5-point difference with 7:41 left in the second half. And it's Jason Gallant handling it down the floor. Right now he's got 13 points, 6 of 12 shooting for the guard. He's guarded by Lewis Grant Halliday. Also onto the floor, Tony Salinas. Back to Gallant in the corner. Gallant, past Grant Halliday to the cup, tried to finish it off the reverse double clutch, and he couldn't get it. Swinging to the other side of the basket, Vikings here with their first chance out of our break. Tijan Singh with the ball, just one basket away from double digits for him. Will Wilson, the Vikings lead scorer. Freshman Trevor White is able to get a reverse layup.
Solid night for Trevor White. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks in just 13 minutes.
Salinas to his right, hesitates. Now hands off to Collins. Collins, he's been quiet in the second half. He's still the leading scorer, though. Cortez working on White, getting to his spot and able to finish. After the basket at Western Oregon, and Wes Pfeiffer is going to call a timeout in this 5-point different game. It will be what he decides here. He's going to call a full timeout.
We can keep it here. We
Yeah,
just
we
came
were
out
just
of
gone.
one. Yeah.
Why not?
We can give you a couple scores around the GNAC. In Central Washington, on the men's side, defeating Tennessee State Billings 82-69. There's an interesting one. The Governor's Cup up in Alaska today, this afternoon. Alaska Fairbanks going to Anchorage, beating the Seawolves 76-74. Mannix were down 16 points. Second half, came back and won before a crowd of about 1,700 people in Anchorage there at the Alaska Airlines Center.
They have such an awesome story this year. Fairbanks, I mean, predicted to finish last in the conference, and all of a sudden they're one of these top teams beating Alaska Anchorage. It's been an awesome story for Fairbanks this year.
And then on the women's side, Northwest Nazarene continuing its good play, defeating Seattle Pacific 88-84 today. Got some other scores still in progress. We'll try and see if we can't get some of those out along the way as we wrap up here.
This one's going to come down to the wire, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of time and plenty of timeouts and replays to talk about those
We may have all sorts of things to talk about as tight as this one's been.
That's true. Just 5 points still your difference as we're back with the Vikings on offense following the Western Oregon basket into their timeout. And it's Will Wilson with 20 points tonight for the Vikings. Trevor White off the bench has been good and electric. The pass to Levesque goes out of his hands and a costly turnover. Western Oregon will look to cut this to a one-possession game of the basket. Salinas has played limited minutes, just 7 on the floor, but he's out there right now for the Wolves with 6 minutes left in the second half. Gallant is blocked, but fouled by Trevor White. So instead of block number 5, it is foul number 3 for Trevor White. And Gallant is going to head to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Gallant just bangs on people.
Yeah, they've been putting him to work.
Physical.
Just a 6'4" guard, but we've seen him go to the post.
He's listed at 205, though. It's and for context here, NJ Cortez is 6'8". He's listed at 185.
Yeah. Gallant has been a good scorer through his career at Western Oregon. Last season, 15 points per game. Double-digit score for the Wolves this year.
Yeah, very efficient scorer. Can hit threes. As we've seen here, can get himself in deep and post up. Very strong.
He can really explode, too. He had a 30-point game earlier this year against Cal State Monterey Bay.
Yeah, when JaVale Collins was out, he was the primary scoring threat. His average has gone down a little bit. He was up over 17 a game before Collins came back.
3 points in this one-possession game now after the free throws from Gallant. 77-74. Western Washington in another tight contest. And Wilson is fouled on his drive, and if that is going to be on Collins, that's going to be a dangerous one. Yes, it is on Collins. That'll be his fourth.
Yeah, he didn't like it, but yeah, Wilson started to turn, and Collins gave him a bump that knocked him off path, and that's why you have to call that one.
So now Western Oregon has Cortez and Collins both with 4 personal fouls. One more and they're gone. Vikings, you haven't seen Grant Kepley in a while because he's got 4 fouls on the bench. Cortez and Collins both on the floor for Western Oregon. 10 on the shot clock. Wilson, three-pointer is good.
It's just such a good score.
He has performed, and the Vikings have needed him tonight. 23 points for Will Wilson. Second year as a Viking from Mount Hood Community College. Couldn't be more happy to have him. As Western Oregon is able to get the ball back on a steal after their miss. Vikings turn it over on their own side of the floor. And now Western Oregon a chance to answer again against Wilson. Casemiro inside, can't get a layup. Grant Holiday grabs the rebound, his 7th of the night. Sane hesitates, then goes inside. Gets through his trail man, Trevor White. Wilson in the corner. Feeds White down low against Collins. White goes around him and finishes off the glass.
He has been the best interior player on the floor tonight.
And the lead is up to 8. As White has 8 points himself. Collins on the other side of the floor into the 20s.
Just got beat off the dribble, but boy, it's no disgrace to get beat by Mr. Collins. He is impressive. I think he's a candidate for GNAC Player of the Week.
It'll be up there as White inside gets it off the glass. He's got double digits. Collins a 3 the other way, right back at you. Talks his talk on the way down to the other side of the court. He's fired up because he's got 24 points. In a breakout week for Javel Collins.
He's 2 points from averaging 30 for the weekend.
Yep. 84-79 the score. 5-point lead for Vikings. Foul called. And it's on Western Oregon, it seems. Casemiro gets the foul. And it will slow things down on our court for a media timeout. 84-79 your score. 3:36 left in this second half as it comes down to the wire here in Carver Gym. We'll be right back.
Get off your...
Show off. Mountain Dew.
Back in Bellingham, Washington, 84-79 your score. 3:36 left in this second half. Down to the wire between Western Oregon and Western Washington. What a contest it has been tonight as you see the fans electrified with it, staring at their phones. They don't realize what's going on in front of them.
Hey!
It's an awesome game.
It is a timeout.
It is a timeout, yeah.
It's been intense, and they're having to just chill a little bit to prepare for the final 3:36.
Probably scrolling their last minutes on TikTok before the band tonight, enjoying something like that.
Enjoying TikTok while they still can, apparently.
Exactly. So here we go, 3.5. 5 points is the lead for Western Washington, 84-79. Vikings with Grant Holiday. Holiday on the baseline drive, and he stepped out of bounds. Turnover out of the break, and now Western Oregon a chance to cut this back to a one-possession game.
I think I know who I'd give the ball to right now.
Collins.
Yeah. Not to say Casemiro and Gallant haven't had good nights, but he is
fire.
Flying right now. And here he comes.
They will give him the ball, and he'll drive against Will Wilson, and he'll dribble it out of bounds. So maybe you didn't want to.
Maybe not. Hey, sometimes you make the right call and it doesn't work,
That's
right?
true.
I mean, they got what they wanted. He came off of a little handoff that got him going downhill to the basket, and it just got away from him and went out of bounds. But can't complain about the call from West Pfeiffer at all there.
So under 3 minutes now. In still a 5-point game, Grant Kepley is back onto the floor for the Vikings with 4 personal fouls. He's back in for Grant Holiday. Trevor White, mid-range jumper, can't get it. Second try from him is good.
Bringing out the George Gervin and Trevor White. That finger roll.
Beauty.
Oh, that was wonderful.
He's got 12 points, 8 rebounds for White tonight. Off the bench for Tony Dominguez and these Vikings, and the lead is 7. 2.5. Gallant. Stopped inside, fades away off the glass. What a basket by him. And a quick timeout called by the head coach of Western Oregon.
Give Gallant credit. If he puts that over the front rim, Trevor White's going to get it. But he puts the extra, puts it off the board, and it goes. White missing the shot here, but getting the rebound. The freshman from Attleboro, Massachusetts. I cannot remember another basketball player in Western history. I'm not even sure I remember another athlete from Massachusetts, but forging a trail is Trevor White.
He had a couple of struggles when he was starting, went back onto the bench now for Tony Dominguez and the Vikes, and now has found that groove once again. Having a great night tonight for Western Washington. Double-double watch for him for sure, as I imagine he's going to be on the floor for these final 2.5 minutes.
Did not get to the block shots. He had 4 very quickly. Hasn't gotten one since. There's Brad Jackson there, the former Western coach. The coach of the national champions in 2012.
He's been in a lot of games this year. Mainly because of that guy, Grant Kepley, Seaholm High School product. Just barely down the road from Western Washington's campus itself is Seaholm High. 2 minutes with Wilson. Can't get the tough layup. Rebound. White, a 3. No, missed it, and he knew it. Chased it down. Wilson ripped it out of the hands for a second. And now jump ball is called. And that is Western Oregon possession.
Western Oregon.
A lot of hustle on the glass for Western Washington in this game, and you saw just on that possession itself.
Great effort by Wilson, and a great effort by Casimiro, too, to get in and tie that thing up.
Possession will now switch on the next tied-up ball as Trevor White will head to the bench.
So we are bang on 2 minutes. Vikings with an 86-81 lead.
Casimiro, what a second half he's had. At one point was 7 of 7. He's missed his last 2 shots, but he has 17 points. He's trying to get to the basket past Sane, and he's able to get it. 19 now for the junior. Just a 3-point game at 1.5 minutes. And Sane going back at Casimiro on the other side. 2 defenders near him, Sane resetting. Vikings milking some clock. 10 on the shot clock for Wilson. He glances up, sees it, now goes to work. Baseline for Wilson, 5 for him. Reverse layup is good by Wilson. Big time basket by Will Wilson, and Tony Dominguez calls the timeout. 25 for the number 44, Wilson. Just found the only spot that was there and somehow got it in.
As you know, I've been here a long time. With the possible exception of Ryan Diggs, Will Wilson is probably the most complete scorer I think I've seen at Western. He is just, there's Brad Jackson again, sitting with Director of Community Engagement Terry McPhee, and Faculty Athletic Rep Bruce Larson, who's just back from the NCAA convention in Nashville on the other side of Brad. But Will Wilson scores as well as anybody. It's just, he can shoot the ball, he can drive, he can be creative inside. Ryan Diggs may have been his equal, but not many others.
Western Oregon now will have it on offense, 5 points. They trail by. Casimiro Gets around Levesque. Levesque recovered. Casimiro can't get a layup, and Grant Holiday has it into his hands. So now under a minute here in Carver Gym with the Vikings with a 5-point lead. Deep pass down to Levesque was dangerous.
Western Oregon not looking like they're going to foul here, so they'll play this out.
Vikings going to milk as much clock as they can with this 5-point lead. No, it's ripped away by Collins right out of the hands of Wilson. Big steal. Collins drive kick. Williams Jr. corner three. No good. Cortez there throws it off of Levesque, who was out of bounds, and a heads-up play by Cortez.
Nice play.
Phenomenal play by Cortez. 1, to get the rebound, and 2, to have the awareness to be able to throw that off the back of Levesque as he himself was about to fall out of bounds. Williams Jr. had the 3 opportunity as it'll be kicked out of bounds by Grant Kepley.
Beauty by Grant Kepley. Vikings are out of timeouts. Western Oregon has 1 remaining. And they're going to reset the clock to 20 because of the kick, although Western Oregon's not going to want to use that much time.
Gallant. Fade away, can't get it. Missed off the left side, and Grant Holiday horses the rebound down. Williams Jr. will foul him, and Vikings are in the bonus.
Trevor White has walked past us 3 times in the last 30 seconds of actual lifetime.
They want him in there on offense.
Yeah, they want to bring him on offense, and the ball keeps coming back to Western Oregon. And so now he was ready, and now the free throws are going to send him back to the bench again. And he just kind of rolled his eyes like, what have I got to do?
Yeah. Grant Holiday at the line with a 5-point lead for Western Washington. Grant Holiday, what a night he is having. 12 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals. Missed the 1-and-1 chance. So now here goes the Wolves quickly. Collins, dribble, pull up, 3. Got it. Big time shot from Collins. Who else would you expect it from? He's got 27.
And Northwest Nazarene, I was going to give you a score. Western Oregon will use its last timeout. And why did I say Northwest Nazarene? Because Northwest Nazarene has just defeated Seattle Pacific on the men's side 67-55.
I don't blame you either. The black and red, they all blend together. There's too many black and red teams in the GNAC.
There are.
There's what, 3 of them, and then
Central is black and red.
Yeah.
Northwest Nazarene, Western St. Martin's is in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Simon Fraser is red and white.
I wonder what the GNAC's favorite color is. Seems like it's red. We've got an interesting little 11.8 seconds about to go down here. Likely going to be the foul game here for Western Oregon.
Now, keep in mind, both teams are out of timeouts. So you've got to get the ball in here. That's the big thing is you don't have that timeout to use if you're struggling to get the ball in bounds. Looks like the Vikings are going to go with a 4 across look here. Extended across the foul line. Typically in that situation, somebody's probably going to release deep. It's Kepley.
Inbound goes to Wilson. Cortez will immediately foul, and there's 10.3 on the clock. As now it'll be just the 8th foul, so still 1-and-1. Free throws coming for Will Wilson.
And Will Wilson's an excellent free throw shooter. He is the best free throw shooter on the team at 88%. But set that aside. That's the experienced guy you'd want at the line right now.
Precisely. It will be Cortez's 5th personal foul, so he's now out of the game, and Makayo Mims has taken his place. Garrett Levesque is in as Trevor White is out for Western Washington. Wilson's free throw is good, so he'll have another chance for it. So now a 3-point game, and Wilson with a free throw here has a chance to put it out of reach. It's good, and a 4-point game now at 10.3. 27 tonight for Wilson. Western Oregon just no foul on a 3-point shot. Step back from Mims is short. Rebounded by Wilson. They'll toss it up the court, and Western Washington has won 90-86. A victory over the Wolves. Vikings are on a string of wins in the GNAC. They're now 3-5 in the conference as Western Oregon will fall 1-6 in their GNAC play. Vikings 3 straight wins. It continues tonight.
3rd straight win gets you back on the roll there. Will Wilson finishing with 27 points. And I think that's who we're going to try to get a word with. He also had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Louis Grant Holiday, Trevor White, each with 12 points. Grant Kepley with 10. 9 for Tijon Sane. 9 for Aiden Rice, all in the first half. 6 for Garrett Levesque. 5 for Jordan Tate. The Vikings shot 53.7% from the field, also to 38-22 edge and rebounds. At the other end, boy, a great night for JaVale Collins. 27 points, 10 of 16 from the field. Also had 3 steals. It was 19 for Ocean Casemiro, most of those in the second half. 16 for Jason Gallant. And we are ready to go with Will Wilson, the 27-point scorer with Zen Hill.
We're here with Will Wilson, player of the game. Man, you were on fire tonight. What was going well for you on offense, just putting in bucket after bucket tonight?
I feel like we did a good job moving the ball. They sat in zone for pretty much the whole game, so we knew we had to swing it around a little bit, find the gaps, and I think we did a pretty good job of that tonight.
You guys were tied at 68-68 at one point. You had a string of baskets to kind of get the offense back on fire. How did you guys come together for the win tonight?
You know, even if the game gets tied up, you know, we were up. We just got to stay together, you know, regroup. Teams are going to go on runs. So as long as we keep our head up, I feel like we're going to be okay.
3 straight wins for you guys now. What has been going good for this team? What has made you successful over these last 3 games?
I would just say our energy is high right now. We're kind of rolling right now, so I think that's in our favor. So, yeah.
You guys have Thursday off, but then Saturday, traveling up north to take on Simon Fraser. How do you keep the ball rolling?
Just going hard in practice this week. Not taking any days off, even though we have a longer practice week. Just executing and going over the little details, watching film, I think we'll be all right.
Congratulations on the win, Will. Go sign some autographs and have some fun. Vikings will travel on the road. We won't have any home games here at WECU Court next week, but we'll see you at Vikings TV in 2 weeks on Thursday. Have a good night and go Vikes.